Well, welcome to the River Tunnel. And I'll just tell a little story here and then introduce Gordon, who will talk to you about this fabulous work that you see. Way back when Salt Lake City was planning on the airport redevelopment, what we call the airport redevelopment program, they did a lot of public outreach to see what people were interested in terms of a new airport. And there was a lot of feedback, stuff that you would expect, more bathrooms, better digital connectivity, and so on and so forth. But I think one consistent theme came through, which is people wanted to be sure that anybody who was coming through the airport knew where they were. They wanted the airport to reflect this place. And as still a relative newcomer to Utah, this is, I think, one of the most remarkable states in that the physical setting is so much a part of the place. And so when the idea of establishing a relationship with an artist started to develop way back in the day, the instruction given was, we want the airport to look and feel like Utah. And Gordon Huther was selected as the artist, and I think that one of the really great privileges, frankly, is seeing this theme carried through from start to finish. A lot of places you go to, they'll have some great pieces, but the pieces themselves don't necessarily connect you to the place. And what I think is so special about Salt Lake International now, and what people will really come to see when everything is done, is that this all connects us to this place in a very unique and special way. So Gordon has been here and associated with the project for a very long time. And it's been such a pleasure for all of us to work with him. He's a fabulous artist, which is obvious by the work, but he's also done a lot of very large scale pieces. So he has a really good feel for what it takes to actually make some of these things real. So he's as much an engineer as an artist in some cases, I think, and that's really been to our benefit and advantage. So a great pleasure to introduce Gordon Huther.
Thanks, Bill. Small correction, I'm definitely not an engineer. I'm really good at surrounding myself with people that are smarter than me in lots of different areas. Hello everybody, I'm Gordon Huther, and I'm an artist that's based out of Napa, California, and I have indeed been working with the airport for, well, about a decade now. We've got a couple more years to go. The objective from the beginning was to celebrate the natural beauty of Utah, and not in a literal sense at all, but just try to capture the vibe of the nature of natural beauty here in Utah. I'll talk about the tunnel in a moment specifically, but to put it into context, the experience of the art starts when you're driving up to the airport. We did the peaks out there. That's like 75 tons, 10-story tall sculpture. You know where you are. You know where you are. And then you enter the airport. We have the falls at those escalators. Then we have the plates. Then we have the canyon. And then you're going to drop down the escalators. You're going to enter the river tunnel, and you'll pop back up at the North Concourse, where we have another canyon and something called Northern Light. And so, in thinking about speaking with you today, I thought about, over the course of my career, I've traveled, I've been in so many airports across the United States. I've been in Hong Kong, Philippines, Japan, all over Europe. And to the question earlier about what makes, where does this put this airport? I have not seen an airport that has, sorry if I do say so myself, but has done such a beautiful job of integrating art and architecture in a very, very seamless kind of way. And all of us, even the most seasoned travelers, have a little bit of stress even starting the day before. You make sure that you got your toothbrush, your charger, my boarding pass, what time do I have to leave in the morning, set the alarm. It's already kind of building up, right? Then you get in your car, you get to the airport, you find your gate. All that stuff is stressful. So what we're trying to do, and I think we're doing it, is rather than waking up in the morning and looking not forward to a stressful day, you're looking forward to going in and out of this airport like no other airport. There's a meditative quality to it, there's an inspirational quality to it, and for the river tunnel, I'm just so grateful to have my friends here at the airport. We've worked as a team this whole time, and that they so much trust, which is so much appreciated. I picked the colors. I designed these wavy walls. We did all the lighting, the terrazzo, the ceiling sculpture, all of it. And what you're not getting today, which is something very much to look forward to, is we have about 150 high quality, state-of-the-art speaker system, sound system in here. And we have, I was allowed to put a playlist together of just under 100 songs. So there'll not be a time when you won't go through here where you're gonna hear a different song. And there's Take Me to the River, Talking Heads, there's Johnny Cash, there's Beautiful Boy, John Lennon, there's Pavarotti, it's a totally eclectic. Post Malone. Sade. You might want to go down to your gate and thought, I have a little extra time, I think I'm going to do that again. So I'm not sure what else to share with you. Fun facts, I guess. This is about 3 football fields in length. They're broken into 3 sections. So that's 30 songs per section. We still got to fine tune the volume. I'll want it louder. Somebody might want it quieter, but we'll get there soon enough. I don't know, Bill, am I leaving anything off about the art?
What is it made of? Yeah, what are the fins made out of?
The fins are made of, excuse me, fire rated, believe it or not, fabric. So I did this actually with paper and a glue gun. That's my specialty. And then worked with my digital designers and started pushing and pulling on these forms. And then it all gets super digitized. And inside of each one of those fins is an aluminum tube, miles and miles of tubes. And then you take a straight tube and you push it into this specially made machine that was made for us. And it comes out of the other end like a noodle. And then those they get assembled. They were assembled here on the floor, and these are like giant pillowcases that go over the tubing.
And no two are the same.
No two, nope, not even 1 foot is the same.
How long did it take?
It depends on how we're measuring time. So the installation took 3 weeks, maybe?
About 3 weeks.
About 3 weeks. But I'm sure that there was more time spent emailing, Zooming, flying, doing anything other than actually making. So, but that's what good planning is about. So the start to finish fabrication, you can't start fabrication until you do design development, construction documents, all that stuff just takes hundreds, maybe thousands of hours. The actually making of it, I'm gonna guess maybe 6 months. So this was all, the fabric was cut on a digitally driven machine that cut it, and then they were sewn together by hand, believe it or not. So, long time.
How many shades of blue did you consider for this? And how did you land on this one?
Yeah, well, that was collaborating with my friends here at the airport. I was going to be a lot darker and moodier. And then people started freaking out a little bit. So we don't call that compromise, we call that collaboration. And so collaborating, when done well, you get a better outcome. So I landed on this blue. We're really big on doing mock-ups. So we built a whole room in my studio that's probably as wide, twice as long as this, full height, all of that, with the lighting panels, with the fins, painting the colors, different blues to get it, whatever just right means. So that was a whole process too, getting the right blue. And then with the terrazzo, I really wanted those mirror flecks in there because I want a little sparkle. I should add a little sparkle to your travel, a little sparkle to your walk. Yep, that's that answer.
Does the blue have a name?
Does the blue have a name? Well, I'm sure it does. Sherman Williams, blah blah blah. So, I don't know. But we went through, I'm gonna guess 15 or 20 different concepts, and everybody flew down to the studio, went through all of them, and this is where we landed because this is what made the most sense. It totally ties into the canyon, and it will tie into the Canyon 2.0 in the North Concourse. But there are so many, you're just starting with an empty tube as an artist. And you have to think about not just the aesthetics, but the practicality of things. You have to think about money, you have to think about engineering, all the things you can't do, fire rating. There's just all kinds of components to it that have little to do with art. And I think that's what Bill was talking about, is our studio.
The weight of these,
Yeah.
The ceiling, can it handle the weight of all of this?
Yeah, and how are the connection points and all that stuff. And I have to tell you, there's 2 times when these projects are fun for me, is in the beginning, when I get hugs from my clients, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. That's awesome, Gordon, we love you, we love it, let's do it. That's really cool. The next time it's fun is right about now, right? It's all done and we're celebrating it somehow. Everything in between is work. It's just work. And I try to get out of most of that by having a team.
Any other questions? How much did it cost? Yeah.
I don't like talking about money. Which part?
I guess materials and installation.
For just the fins? Or the lighting? Or the
whole installation. Yeah, the whole installation.
Just
For the whole tunnel.
so,
Like
$5.5 million.
about $5.5 million. That's not for excavating and
Yeah.
the moving sidewalks and the floors. Sorry.
Just for the art.
Just these guys, the ceiling, the curating of the playlist, sound system, all of that. It was a deal.
At what point did you, I guess, get that feeling of like completion with this?
You mean
10
knowing?
minutes ago.
Like you were saying that like your 2 favorite parts are sort of
The beginning and the end,
Yeah.
right? When everybody came down and we had like 15 different renderings on the walls and models and all of that, and we knew then which one it was going to be. There was still a lot of unanswered questions at that time, like what color blue, and these walls weren't on the scene yet, and how are we going to even light it? That was a whole thing. It was all designed, but we still didn't know how to light it. So that's very satisfying time right there. And then when we did the mock-up and you really can see what it's going to look like, that's where it is. And I should mention those lighting panels are super innovative, interesting, amazing. They're basically boxes that have LED lights inside of them, and then that's a blue fabric. And we engineered a system that we could connect to that panelized system for our fins. Those fins, you could take one 25, 30 feet long and one person at each end and pick it up with one hand. They're super lightweight.
The floor, we were going to have terrazzo anyway, but this is something I've learned just being associated with the project. It's poured like concrete, basically, before it's laid in place, and then it's ground down several times and polished. And until you grind it down and polish it, you don't really know what the mix is going to look like. So there is a lot of trial and error in the floor itself to make sure you have the sparkles that you want, the blue chips or the color that you really want. It's an amazing amazing piece of art, frankly, all by itself.
Any other questions?
Okay.
We cool? All right.
Yeah, so